Okay, quick update at the supercharger. I am actually here at the supercharger. I'll show you. There's a supercharger in my trailer. I'm towing my trailer at the supercharger. But let's go back to the battery. This video is about my range loss, battery degradation. Right now, it looks like in these last couple miles, over 229 have taken forever to put on. Don't trust this little minute thing up here. You can see we're down to 2 kilowatts, sometimes 1 kilowatt. It's just about at the end. It might squeeze out 233, maybe, I don't know. But at 232, I originally had 259 3 years ago. It's almost 3 years exactly from when I bought the vehicle or took delivery. See, it's March 9th. And 2020, I got it in middle of March, like 15th, I think it was, something like that, in 2017. So 3 years old. How much mileage does it have on it? Let's find out. 124,167. So about 125,000 miles and 3 years. And we have lost, if you go by somewhere between 232 and 233, which it seems like it's going to be, I don't even know if I'm going to wait any longer. It's just taking forever here. It seems like it's about 10% battery loss. And this may have sped up recently because I'm starting to tow a lot. I'm definitely towing a lot, and that may have an impact on the battery. So we will see how it goes moving forward with this. But I also find that you lose it on both ends. I just did a video recently on my channel. You can search it up, where I ran out of electricity at the supercharger right at zero. There used to be a buffer there. So I'm losing it on both ends, truly. I think over time you lose it on the top end, which it takes you forever to charge up to this rate, to this top. I would never recommend you go this high. It's just not worth it. It takes forever, especially if you're on a trip. And I'm on a trip right now. I'm in Ocala, Florida. Got to drive all the way up to Raleigh, North Carolina. So the problem is, between these large supercharger gaps, like of 100 miles or more in Georgia and South Carolina, I'm going to have problems. I'm going to have to use a different technique. So that's a whole other video, but I'm going to, I think, use chargers in between that I've already located with the not the ChargePoint app, the PlugShare app. So anyway, it's something to consider as the vehicle gets older, how things are going. But overall, I think I'm doing well. If you have a Tesla, let me know what your degradation has been over the years and the mileage and the charges. And actually, I've supercharged this battery maybe 1,200 times, over 1,200 times at this point in time. 1,200 supercharges. And it still is actually only about 10% loss, which is good, but it's not really usable up here. I mean, you can only really get up to, I'd say, 220 comfortably, 225. Anything after that is just not worth it. It just takes forever. If you're trying to make a trip like I am, it's not really usable. All right, it made it to 233. It did. So that's exactly 10%. 10% battery loss at about 120,000 miles. So hopefully it's leveled off. Hopefully it's not going to get into that steep decline. I don't know. I mean, I've done so many superchargers. I don't have a home charger, remember. And you can live without a home charger, especially with a Tesla, even if you're doing long distance driving like me. But who knows what kind of ultimate toll it takes on the battery. But here we go. 10% range loss at 125,000 miles. Well, if we're down to 1 kilowatt, I'd say we're pretty much done. We're not going to get any more, and it's consistently on 1 kilowatt. I may unplug it here. I have literally been at this time remaining 5 minutes for about 45 minutes now. Don't trust this thing. This top end of the battery, the super top end, is so hard to access. Oh my gosh. It's one thing if you're waiting in your car on a trip like I am. It's another thing if you're just plugged in at home. It won't matter. But never go up to 100 unless you're on a trip anyway, because you got to take it straight off. At least for the health of the battery, you want to do that. Oh man, I made it up to another one. 234. So that means it's 9.7% range loss. 9.7 at 124,000 miles in 3 years. So we're under 10%. But like I said, it takes forever. Forever. It must be. I mean, if you're mostly all the way done, all the way down, it's going to take almost 2 hours at the supercharger to charge up to this rate. Crazy. At this point, I've been here for almost an hour, waiting for this thing to top off. It might get to 235, but like I said, it adds an extra hour. Is it even worth it? At least I know I'm under 10% or right at 10%. But if you can't access it, what does that mean? I don't even, well, at least it charges faster in the sweet spot anyway, much faster, but you can't really use this. And for towing, I need all the range I can get. This is just something to consider with electric vehicles going forward, especially when towing. Even if you have a ton of range on here, accessing that top part is very, very difficult, as I can tell you and show you right now. Okay, I cannot wait any longer. People are waking up. I gotta get out of blocking everybody's bays in the supercharger. And of course, as shown by those dashes there at the bottom, you have no regenerative braking or very little, pretty much none when you charge up this high, so don't do it. Oh, and one other thing to consider as these Tesla batteries age is that not only, like I mentioned earlier in the video, do they lose any kind of buffer they have at the low end, they start to shut off. Like mine shut off right at 0, but as they age and get ready to need replacement, they'll start to shut off at 20, 30, 40 miles, sometimes even 50 and 60 I've heard reported. Left. It's like your phone shutting off or other device shutting off when the battery goes bad. The same thing happens. So something to keep in mind. That's how you'll know. And you'll have to convince Tesla at that point that they got to give you a new battery. We'll see how this plays out over time. Let me know if you have any experience with that and leave me some comments. Thanks so much for watching.